Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make sure your fins are all exactly the same size. To do that, all you're going to need is a little piece of sandpaper about that big. It's about 4 inches by 5 inches, something like that. And you're going to need your fins. It's important that you know where the leading edge of your fin is and where the root edge. The root edge is the one that actually sticks to is going to be stuck to the rocket. So in this fin, this is the root edge here, and this right here is my leading edge. So the root and the leading edge. And notice that I've got the grain here is parallel to the leading edge. So that's my rocket design. So what you're going to do, we're going to sand the root edges first to make sure they're perfectly flat. And so what you're going to do here is you're going to tap these down on the table and make sure that they're all perfectly lined up on one side, and so that this side is perfectly flat and they're as lined up as you can get them. And they won't be even every place. Now, one of the tricks here is once you get these all lined up and this side is nice and flat, don't let go of them while you're doing this exercise. It's only going to take a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to push those slowly across this sandpaper and look at the bottom until they're all the same. And once those are all the same, I'm going to take it and sand these ones so they're all the same. And it really only takes a few strokes because balsa wood is so soft. On this side I've got one of these fins that's quite a bit smaller than the other ones. So it's going to take me just a minute to sand it down. I need to go just a little bit further with this one. This is one where I've got quite a bit of difference. There we go, now they're all the same. I'm going to go to the next side. Again, sand them till they're all the same. Just look in the bottom, not quite. There, almost. There we go, and I got the very last edge to do. I like to do this just in a one direction motion, just pushing. Some people go back and forth. I don't think it really matters. Some people do it 2 ways. A little bit more. There we go. Now I have these the same on all the edges, and they're all exactly the same size now. So now I have them all the same. Now that's all you have to do. If you have these fins that are square like this, they're going to be kind of rough in terms of flying, and they're not going to be as smooth. So if you want to, you can round out some of these edges. Now, when you go to round out the edges, make sure you remember which is the leading edge and the trailing edge, because you don't want to round out the root edge. The root edge that we're going to glue onto the rocket, we want to leave that flat and square. But if you want to, you can round out the leading edge and with the other end on there, the trailing edge. And the easiest way to do that is actually with an emery board, which I think we gave you, but I don't have mine here, so wait a second and I'll go find it. So we should have given these little emery boards, you know, they're the things you file your nails with. So if we want to round the edges, we want to round the leading edge and the trailing edge. It makes it a little more aerodynamic. Do not round the root edge. And the easiest way to do this is just take your emery board and go back and forth on this a little bit. I'll do it 2 different ways and show you. You can decide which way you want to do it. Some people like to do it with an emery board. And all we're trying to do is make it kind of round. And sometimes people will like to do these just on the paper, and you can do it just on that. I kind of like the emery board myself. It seems to me like I get a little better job with the emery board. And we're just going around. And so now you can see that we've rounded the leading edge and we've rounded the trailing edge. I'm not messing with the root edge. If you want to, you can round the outside edge of it too, or the tip. We call this the tip of the... You can round that one too. Just whatever you do, don't round the root edge. So if you want to round your edges, it's not necessary, but it'll make your rocket a little more aerodynamic and it'll fly a little higher. But only round the leading edge and the trailing edge, and if you want to, the tip, but do not round the root edge. So if you want to do that for all your fins, go ahead. So now you can finish cutting out your fins and come back to me when you're done with that part.